So this is the rotation, and these all actually turned out really well. And I really like this one and this one. The rest turned out well too, but I just like those better. And I'm surprised that they're turning better, because I had like 1 or 2 weeks of them turning out really bad, mostly because I was bored. And while doing this, I was thinking about the condescending critiques or advices that you get online. And that reminded me that if I started posting the pose rotations when I was at this level, and for some reason I didn't get ignored by people, and instead my video decided to go viral, all the comments that I would get will be something along the lines of that I am not at the level for this exercise, or maybe I should, just condescending stuff like that, or something like I don't know if you know this, but the body is actually 3D, and if you say that sentence out loud 3 times every breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 17 days, you will be automatically granted the ability to draw. So quit doing this exercise and do that instead. It will just be all people telling me that, well, this is wrong, and yes, this is wrong, for example, but what is important in exercises is how you do them, not the end result, because when you give critiques to a finished piece or something you bought, for example, you are paying someone to do a character design for your show or something, the critique you give to that is going to be about the end result. But for exercises, the most important critique is about the process. So if I'm doing something wrong, not if what I did turned out wrong. And with these, ignoring that the box wasn't cube, I was actually doing the right thing. I was using boxes and drawing them in the new perspective. So I was doing the right thing, and I just needed the time and the freedom to be shit at it, without people being in my ear saying that the end result looked wrong. So that reminded me that if you're at this level and you post online, I'm not going to say like don't post it, because you might get people like that, because that is kind of stupid, and I know that how important social feedback is to a lot of people, so I'm not going to say don't post if you're not good enough. But what I wanted to say was, if for some reason, for example, you posted a TikTok and it starts getting more than usual views, and the views don't come with nice comments but weird comments lecturing you, I would suggest that maybe turn off the comments or private the video until it stops getting those kind of comments. And I would also just suggest that not arguing or explaining yourself to those people, because mostly they're just trying to prove that they're just better than you and not exactly helping you out. Because if they wanted to help you out, and if they were at the place to help you out, they would realize that the most important thing about a practice is not the end result, but the path that you took during the practice. And when you're practicing, you're going to suck at it. If you didn't suck at it, you would not do the practice. So I would suggest, definitely, especially if you're someone that gets affected by other people's opinions, either when a video starts getting those kind of views, those kind of comments, either turn it off or just private the video until it stops getting those comments, because it's just not worth listening to. Because look at this looks like shit, absolute shit, but I just stuck with it for like 6 months, and I was able to do stuff like this, and now I'm at around 8 to 9 months, but I was doing decent at the 5-6 months mark, And the start was like this, so I know for a fact that if I started posting these at this level, I will get so many weird comments. And now I'm just doing well because I had the time and the freedom to be shit at it. Now that I post these, all the comments I get are asking me how I do it or just flattering nice stuff. Now the people that leave weird comments and nice comments obviously aren't the same people, but at the end, the reason I can do it now is that I didn't have to listen to just people blabbering in my ear about how I'm bad at it. So if you get people like that where they don't realize that when you're practicing something, you need the time and the freedom to be shit at it. If they don't, if you get advice from those people that don't accept that or don't know that is the case, I would just silently ignore what they say because it is not worth arguing with them or trying to explain them. Just do whatever path you set yourself on. Like, looking at this really made me think, like, comparing with the comments I get nowadays, that they will be much worse, and I don't think it will make me stop doing this exercise, but I think it will irritate me, and I think I would also not post it, maybe. I don't know. I think if you're at this level, when you actually want advice, I would suggest, like, finding Discord servers with people that take it seriously, so that they won't give condescending advice, and the advice they will give is going to be much more useful than this looks wrong, fix that. Yeah, I think I said everything that I wanted to say. I'm just walking in circles now. Again, the most important part about a practice is what you do, not what you end up having done. The result doesn't matter. The action matters. And then I colored this. So what I did was, since I wasn't using a light source reference from Head Model Studio, and figuring out the light source by having to pick a new color for each object is kind of annoying. So what I did was I figured out the colors. I figured out the light source with a gray brush, and I alpha locked it and got the colors from here and colored in. And I hate Procreate fill tool, and what I did was I filled in these. I referenced the line layer and I filled in the colors on a different layer. And then I Gaussian blurred it to like 2% and duplicated and flattened the layers until it was filled in better. So that is why these happened. It was still better than whatever else I would get with other stuff. And then I painted it, and I was thinking about the painting exercise plan as I do this. And I decided in the end to quit doing this because Procreate color mixing isn't all that good, and it takes too much time and effort to be viable to do in the long run. So I decided to just quit painting the colors. I'm going to use multiply layers, and I might paint on top, but I'm not going to get the colors by picking myself, cause like even if I paint these balls with a flat brush, and if I Gaussian blur them, they look just like they were done with an airbrush. But even if I do that, the Procreate painting brushes, and I did not use the smudge tool here. I was just using a painting brush. It is just so annoying to deal with because it gets muddy all the time and I hate it. So I think what I decided to do is just postpone this practice idea and go back to using multiply layers, because I think I need to just learn more about color in general, and I think I also need to decide on just, for example, what I thought was decide on environment color numbers, so one for the sky, one for the ground, or just one overall environment shadow, or maybe even 3, I don't know. And then after getting a number, I could roll for a color so that it would affect the person that I'm drawing, and then I would also pick a number for the light color, so maybe one is coming from here and another is coming from here, and that kind of stuff. And then I would roll color for those too. So I just could not make a decision on how this would work. And I think it is easier to make work for when I'm using multiply layers. So I might start doing that with the cell shading approach that I'm going to take. I didn't think it through too much. And yesterday I didn't do anything because I was thinking about the painting exercise and the hours just passed by. So after I decided to quit painting, I tried using a multiply layer to just prove it to myself that it was just faster, and it actually is well. And it actually was well. I forgot to make this part gray, so it is the same multiply color I use for the skin, which makes it red, but other than that, you can see how easier it was to just get it to this level, and I could paint on top of these too. So like it is just going to be much more easier. And one thing that I need to keep in mind is that when adding these darker shadows, I need to make sure to add it to everything. So like, for example, I forgot these, and I forgot this part, I forgot so many stuff because I'm mostly scatterbrained. I'm very scatterbrained, so I forget, but I need to make sure not to do that. And I need to line these with a nicer brush. I was lining them with this basic brush because they were going to get covered by the painting anyway. But since I'm using multiply layers, some of them might show through, so I'm going to go back to lining them nicely. And then I rotated the head, and I projected the grid onto the face shape that I drew. And actually, and this character had an extensive character sheet, so it had a side view too, which made this rotation easier. And actually, I don't have the third box here, but because I didn't draw it, but the box that I picked, I decided on a pose, and the box that I first picked did not fit the pose, so I changed the box into the pose, into something that would fit the pose. So I'm going to draw that next, and I won't have to draw it again for the pose. And I really like the character. I really like this character. I think she looks pretty pretty. But I think some liquify around this eye might help, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh no, what did I do? No, my liquify is gone. And I forgot what I did the first time around. Well, this is definitely better, but it doesn't really matter because, again, these practices are for the long run. Making one drawing nice is not my goal here. I'm not selling this to someone. I'm not selling this drawing to someone. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a practice. So then I rotated this, and that is all I did today because I was just thinking about the painting practice plan.